Okay, so first we're just going to discuss hoops in general, what's good for if you're trying to do it for fitness and what's good for beginner to advanced. I'll show you the big change in the hoop size and weight from when I started to hooping now. This is my very first hoop. Can you see it down here? You can see all of it? Okay. This is my very first hoop, and it's very important how big it is so you have room to grow within it. You want it from the ground to your belly button, and it is about an inch, just shy of an inch thick, and it is pretty heavy tubing. Weight is very important when you first start hooping because at that point the goal is just to keep the hoop up and going. The weight will help carry the momentum. Also, if you're doing it for fitness, I would suggest a heavier hoop, so then it's just more weight and it's more work for your muscles and your core. Now I'm going to show you the hoop that I spin with the most now, and this one is a very lightweight hoop. You can see that it's just a little bit smaller than the one that I started with, but this one is a 3/4 of an inch. It is polypro tubing, so it's very light and very quick. It's for advanced hoopers. You want to do less and get more from your hoop at this point. It's no longer about just keeping it up and going. I'm going to show you a couple other different tubings that are also polypro for advanced spinners. This is another hoop. Also, it's just getting smaller. The smaller it gets, it just means that you just have to move more quickly. It's got a push button where you press down here and you pull out, and there's a rivet here, so this side is solid, it's not going to come apart. Unlike the collapsible hoop, if you're dancing, it could fall apart. This one is not a 5/8, it is a 3/4 tubing, so it's a little bit thicker, also light, but it does give you a little more chance to get your hand on the hoop. With the 5/8, it's very thin and it's kind of hard to grab it sometimes. This one's good for if you want to do a lot of hand work. And if you're a hooper who throws her hoop around a lot or is worried about it breaking, this is HDPE tubing. It is the best for anyone who's worried about their hoop breaking. It's pretty tough. It's not as bouncy as this polypro 5/8. I can bend in this one anyway. This one's kind of hard to do that with. Also, these are yet again 3/4 polypro tubing, and you can get polypro tubing on several different sites. One is Mood Hoops, where I get mine. We can talk about the collapsible hoops. In here is just a little insert of smoothing tubing, just a little bit smaller. And then in this one here, and you might not be able to see it, there's a push button and a rivet where you can pull it apart and collapse it. So on Mood Hoops, if you're deciding to, buy tubing or get your own hoops, you can find all of it on there, different sizes, different weights, and anything to your preference. If you want a collapsible hoop with just the regular insert like I showed you, or one with the push button insert, it's just your choice. I would suggest push button, because then if you're hooping and your hoop pulls apart like this, and you're dancing and your hoop falls apart, it won't happen if you have a push button insert. This is another one of my beginner hoops. It's also very heavy, just a little bit smaller than the original one. It's also about shy of an inch thick. But this one has grip tape on the inside. If you can see this lime green tape right here. This tape is going to be used for beginners who have trouble keeping the hoop up. This tape will help keep the hoop on your body by sticking to your skin and your clothing. So it's a really big help for people who are just trying to get started and keep it moving. So that's a great thing. You can also find tubing, inserts, and tapes of any kind you want on several different sites online, like Mood Hoops is one that I go to, hoopsupplies.com is another one, and you can find all the supplies you need to make your own hoops and for your own level of spinning.